You can't
Good job. Good
record.
job.
Perfect timing.
Those are technically chin-ups, Sam.
Oh, somebody's calling me out.
Were you pushing with your legs? Looked like you were kind of
It-
doing a little.
It's called kipping.
Leg up. It's a leg up.
Don't underestimate Sam. He was an athlete.
Wait, who was it that called me up out on the chin ups? Was that Nora?
Yes.
I did not invite you to this call to call me out on my bad pull ups. Just kidding. You can hang out anytime, Nora.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Big turnout. Wow, what's happening on Yuri's screen? Everyone's there. Big party, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Give.
Hey, guys. Nice,
We
nice.
had a meeting together with Zhenya and with Sergey.
All right. It's the Moscow crew. Very nice.
No
we're in
Moscow.
Cyprus.
Oh, you're in Cyprus. Okay, okay. It's a little offsite. Very cool.
It's been 2 years since we met.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, nice to see everyone here.
Pleasure.
All right. I guess we can wait yeah, we can get started. Others may trickle in. I know Lee is probably mid-flight. I think he gets back tomorrow. So I think he'll be joining us today. Sam, I'm going to hand it off to you to intro our new friends.
Devin, put your screen on. Put your camera on. We want to see your beautiful face.
No, oh no. I had to go find the Harmony
Oh,
shirt.
nice.
Nice. So, and then have you guys all met Nora as well? Nora, flip on your screen too. There we go. So, some of you may know Nora from any of our events, and Gabe is on the call too. So, Gabe, if you want to show your screen, or you can just, crash in on Nora's screen. So Gabe, so Gabe, you guys all know he's been working us with a little bit, especially locally here in Silicon Valley. Nora is joining us to help with our events. So she's doing a lot of really great event planning. And right now she's really focused in on Miami, which is really exciting. Now, Devin, I wanted to introduce because about, let's see, was it 4 weeks ago, we were coming down to the wire for New York City, and we couldn't get the venue sorted, and we couldn't get this or the other thing sorted. And I called Devin, and I was like, Devin, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to work. I think we have to pull the plug on some of what we were planning to do in New York.
And I said, Sam, stop calling me.
I was like, come on, you're the only person I can complain to. And Devin goes, hang on, I said, give me an hour. In an hour, he comes back without any direction, without any sort of, oversight, and has solved the problem. Like, he set us all up for Friedman's. He got us sorted so that we could do breakfast for the whole week for everybody. And it was done. Like, it was just a package deal. So at the end of that conversation with Devin, I was like, Devin, I want you to come work with us over at Harmony. And Devin's like, no, man, you can't afford me. I was like, I promise I can. No. So Devin's joining us. It's not full-time. It's, his spare hours, because he's also the director of strategy for Wise Token. He does a lot of work with BMA, which he was a founder of. What does that stand for, Devin?
We've been here since 2016, so Blockchain Marketing Advisors, very OG.
Very OG. And he knows everybody everywhere. So he's and he just knows how to get stuff done. So he's a great ally, great participant. So Devin, welcome to the Harmony team. I'm glad you're wearing your blue shirt.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I went and found it just for you.
So there you go.
I also have a new friend to introduce. So it's Garrett, and he will be like a corporate developer working as an external contributor, like a part-time right now. So Garrett met Jackie in the MCon in Wyoming, and Jackie speaks very highly of him, of his logical thinking and communication. And he briefly worked with me on some of the corporate code tasks. And I do feel he's very dedicated and very communicative, and also very logical in all the work and ask the right question about how to finish the task and deliver some of the tools that's very helpful for consensus analysis. So we would be very happy to give him an offer to work as a part-time external contributor. And I see he's a very promising junior developer. He's to be a new grad in computer science very soon. He also have experience on smart contract development. So I'm looking very forward to his contribution to Harmony. Welcome, Garrett.
Thank you.
Very cool. Welcome, Garrett.
Welcome, Garrett.
We have one other thing we need to recognize. Does anybody see who's back on the call this week? Big Daddy Ganesh is on the call. The dad of the new dad of what's your son's name again? Sam, that's right.
He's Padgett.
Oh, congratulations, sir. How are you
I'm
awake?
surprised he's awake.
Yeah, just found some time meanwhile changing diapers.
Oh,
it's going good.
Congratulations.
Master
excited
of
to have
diaper
you here.
changing.
It's going good so far. Yeah, he's
Awesome.
been like calm. He's not crying baby. Mostly when he's hungry. Only that time he's crying. Otherwise, he's quite calm and giving me a lot of time to sleep and also some work, getting work done.
Sure, Wolf can relate. Yeah,
Yeah.
nodding.
100% I can relate. Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes,
All
you
right.
should get a crypto daddy
Yeah, get the crypto daddy.
from Sam.
I have one for sale for 10 ETH if you want it.
10
No,
ETH.
thanks.
Oh, shot down.
All right, thanks, guys. Next up, Jack, do you want to just give us a quick update on kind of the network? And Leo as well, if you want to chime in.
Yeah, of course. We did a round of expansion on our cloud infrastructure. So happy to say that we now have a Europe region set up and also a Asia Pacific region set up as well. So now behind the scenes for the developer endpoints, callers from those regions will be routed to those regions locally. So the response times are better, latencies are shorter. So all in all, it looks pretty good so far. We're going to start magically doing it for the wallet API endpoints, the API.harmony.1, pretty soon in the next day or so. So far, everything looks pretty green on our end, but the work's not done because there are things that were done in terms of removing certain things such as trace transactions. Maybe Leo can talk about that, and also some improvements in terms of caching. Maybe RJ or Jackie can talk about that. Leo, do you have any thing to add?
So we to respond to the search traffic last week, we removed the trace traffic API call from the public API. That was actually in our plan for a long time. We just haven't deployed that change. So trace traffic, trace transaction API is pretty heavy and it puts a lot of toll on our IPC endpoint. And it's mainly used by our own node to verify the smart contract, and they're not really intended for public usage. That's why we move it. So we already moved it to private, but previously to keep it compatible, we still leave it open on public. So this time we completely disable it on public. That's to help us reduce the load, especially on CPU for our endpoint. And we still keep it on our, we're still gonna keep it on our internal nodes, especially for the smart contract verification. And there's some additional work need to be done, especially when we, because last time we just blinded it by everything, and there's still additional work to be done to make it configurable to whether enable it or not on some of the nodes. That's I had to think up meeting with Soph. So how do you keep working on that? That's about this API.
Cool,
So,
thanks.
yeah, in addition to this, I just want to say like how Soph is preparing a new release for Hamlin mainnode, and he did most of the testing, and it's in the final stage of release a new one. So yeah, there's one thing, one particular change you have to be careful is for this new release is limit the connection of the each IP to 10. So that one potentially can be risky. So I already asked Soph to be very careful when roll out this new release, especially using canary on a mainnet to make sure there's no breakage of the network. Remember last time we roll out a new release with a P2P update, I will have a huge increase of the consensus time, block time on all the shard. That's why we have to reward it. So all the networking related update will have to be super careful. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also sort of like a quality of service, meaning how much time a particular client has been using the endpoint, and we're rate limiting based on that as well, right? Maybe.
So Jack, do we have any update on the Pocket network?
For Pocket Network, we've identified two root causes. One is they are not going with these, they haven't implemented sort of a stickiness approach. So for example, if a transaction from a dApp requires and relies on a previous call to say, hey, what is a recent block? And block is this. And followed by a second call that relies on the first call, then it fails because some of the Pocket Network node runners are a little bit behind. So that's the second part is actually something more concerning, like how do we make sure they are up to date? So that's one issue. They're fixing the stickiness part. No update on that yet. I've tried to chase them down over the week. They are still working on it. The other part is, in general, I've seen the latency is higher, meaning it's slower on node runners from Pocket than on our nodes. If you run a quick VFAT check, it's about 4 or 5 seconds if it's an endpoint from Harmony, and it's about 8 to 12 seconds if it's on Pocket. So I'm trying to figure out how we can bridge that gap. Until we bridge those gaps, we won't be routing traffic internally, even though a lot of users can continue to use Pocket through their public endpoints. Yeah. Okay. So our latencies are really, really low on our end, especially with the dispersed geolocation right now.
Okay, so the good lesson and the stickiness is very important when we engage new external networking partner.
Definitely. Definitely.
Good. Thanks, guys. So I just wanted to get some quick product launch updates. Ganesh, quick update on BTC Bridge, or Yuri, whoever wants to chime in.
Yeah, sure. I think last week we had the initial deployment and did some initial testing. Everything seems to be working. This week we Also, audit has started last week. This week, we are hoping to receive some update from the audit, and we had recommended the audit review and bug fixing. Also, we need to launch multiple vaults. Currently, only one vault is running. And Chainlink, still waiting to hear from Chainlink so that we can integrate into our mainnet bridge deployment. With those, we should be able to start reaching out to externals for running the vaults. Everything is in the Notion, and it's kind of like following the schedule that we put forth, apart from the public facing product. We haven't yet launched yet. We are waiting to have the launch partners ready, for example, like Sushi and others, so that we can have more traction towards the bridge launch. And also some PR readiness is required. Adrian is making a video, etc. So the full public facing product launch is probably last week of this month. But we are technically making progress as per the schedule that we put forward. You can take a look at the details on what is happening and try out the product. It's already on mainnet. Of course, with limited TVL. We haven't published this to public yet, but it's there if you guys want to try it out.
Good, thank you.
Yuri, anything to add?
Yeah, sure. I only want to say that the bridge already on my net, and anyone can try to test it and write feedback or any issues to GitHub if you find it. It will be very helpful for us. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of work by Yuri and his team, making sure everything is in place. I'm only just overseeing in my limited
It's looking
availability.
great. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I have a couple of updates. So Aave integration has begun. We're actually hoping to get Aave deployed on testnet this week. So that's an exciting development. We also have started a partnership with the Metrics DAO. Metrics DAO is going to allow us to use a Dune-like service to be able to query our blockchain, pull out all sorts of interesting data. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be open for anyone to query. I'll provide more information there as that rolls out. A bunch of new DAO initiatives. Those are very exciting. The Africa DAO is kicking off. And this is going to be like a Pan-African harmony initiative where we're going to be doing a bunch of things, events, education programs, just lots of really incredible projects happening there. Share more information on that as well as that happens. ETH Kenya is going to be one of the events that we're going to be hosting. And there's the UK DAO as well. Wolf knows about this. We kind of kicked that off. We're getting like cheeky crypto involved. So it's going to be a good one. It's well overdue to organize some events in the UK. So that's coming as well. Anyone else? Boris, did you have any updates on your side of things?
Yeah. The cross-chain app is good for testnet. Today was our deadline, so we are doing a little more debugging, but it's ready. So I'm just not sure where is the nice place to put it live, in which AWS. I figured out that now. I'm using my own personal, so I need something different. So yeah, I posted some updates also on Notion, so you will see the screenshots and stuff, and I will try to. There's a couple of bugs, minor bugs, we will try to fix them today. And I think a tentative mainnet release should be in 2 to 4 weeks. But it depends on how many people actually jump and help me to test it and test that. Yeah, that's on cross chain and on cross chain. I still using the same name of the app. I don't know if people likes it. It's called Endless Reach. Then we have the UBI thing. It's been difficult. I haven't been able to get any response from the core team, been completely ignored. So I've been trying to do it myself, but it's hard without their help. So
which core team? Which core team?
Curve.
Curve core team. Okay.
Yeah, because they have the contracts with the pools running on mainnet and Harmony mainnet, but I cannot find them. So I can deploy the contracts to test myself and that, but they don't have the pools. They are not a real contract. So I've been stuck. So I haven't been able to make advance, but not much. And I was focusing on the cross chain. So now this week I want to go back to that. So I will push more with the Curve team and see if they can, I don't know, give me some. I just need the address of the contracts mostly. That's the only thing I really need. But yeah, that's it. That's what I have.
Okay. Sam, did you have a question? Oh, you're on mute.
Not a question. I just want to remind everybody that two things are happening this month. Number one, at the end of the month, we have the Decentral in Miami that a bunch of us are going to. So those of us who are, we'll be doing a breakout room here in just a second to coordinate that. I really want to make sure that we all know what we're doing and where we need to be, as opposed to in New York, who everyone we were having fun, which was great. But let's see if we can, streamline that a little bit. The second thing I just wanted to flag and give, I'm doing you a favor here, is that we do have some peer review stuff that's due this month as well. So just keep your eyes peeled for that, because that's happening later. I had a question. Leo, you raised your hand. Did I see that we have something going with a cross-chain NFT bridge?
Yes. So the cross-chain NFT bridge smart contract deployed to mainnet already, and Yuri and Ganesh helping do the final testing. So I also wrote a Medium post about the launch of the bridge. So I think we're ready to go once Ganesh finish the final test, and also we're gonna update our bridge frontend. Yeah, so basically it should be ready today or tomorrow after, and then make it ready to public.
That's cool. Amazing.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Lastly, sorry, Genya, to put you on the spot, but do you have an update on the trustless Ethereum bridge? Any kind of progress made there?
Well, still no updates from me, because we need to deploy to testnet and have some issues with that. Yeah, so currently I'm focused on Explorer. Maybe Ganesh can put some light on that.
Yeah, we are revisiting next week.
Okay.
We'll update Notion, but you can already see in the Notion what is pending and what's our plan going forward.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I wanted to turn it over to Daniel to tell us about the new Ambassador DAO.
Sure. So we're working on a new DAO called the Ambassador DAO. And it's meant to act as a stopgap for a handful of critical and time-sensitive community needs. So the idea is that we kickstart a handful of these initiatives, community-based initiatives. We design high-level processes, we execute on them. We learn from the mistakes, we pivot, we adapt, continue to execute and refine it, with the ultimate goal of transitioning it over to another DAO within 6 months. That's why I'm calling it a stopgap, because this is not an ongoing DAO. We're kind of focusing on a 6-month time frame, where the idea is to get all the stuff done, 6 months, hand it off. So some of the key initiatives are going to be, they're all community based, but the focus is going to be, number one, online communities. So onboarding our community moderators as ambassadors, compensating them for their work, building cohesion between the online communities, defining our online events and the standards around them, and then executing that with cross community promotion, right? So if we're holding something on Twitter or Telegram or Reddit, then we should all be aware of that, and we should know the details, and we should be cross-pollinating that. The second focus is going to be user and developer support. So that's bridge support, wallet support, developer support, right? On the dev side, for example, we have channels on Discord, we have Telegram, we have Reddit, the Harmony Dev subreddit, people asking for help on building on Harmony. And some people are out there helping, but we would like to formalize that a little bit, formalize that process. So onboard, recruit, onboard, and compensate those community members as ambassadors as well for the end users, for the user support side, the dev support side, also building structure around that. I think that's going to be one of our most important, one of the most important things for us to do is to build processes, build documentation around that, so that when we do hand it off, or whoever might take over on this in the future, they can just continue running with it. It shouldn't be dependent on just one person or a small group of people. And then the third focus is going to be in-person events, meetups. We have community members already holding them, which is awesome. I would love to onboard them as ambassadors, compensate them for their time, and again, once more, build a process around that, so that we can take that process and we can say we're going to hold a meetup in Miami, or we're going to hold a meetup in New York City or DC or wherever around the world. We can just use that process and make sure that we are not dropping the ball anywhere in one city or another, and it's just a repeatable process. So those are the three like fundamental focuses that the Ambassador DAO is going to start with. And again, after 6 months, because some of these initiatives kind of fall under other DAOs, like the community moderators, online communities, should probably be under the community DAO, is that after 6 months, we transition it over to them. Here's our documentation and the process. Here's what we're doing, so that they can continue running with it. Yeah, so the idea is that we hit the ground running, we document, execute, refine the documentation, execute again, and then transition, all with a community focus. So I have the draft proposal almost ready to go. There's a couple of sections that need to be filled out, but we're working together and completing that, so that hopefully we can officially propose this in maybe 48, 72 hours. The sooner the better, because these are time sensitive. And I'd love to start executing on these things ASAP.
Good. Thank you, Daniel.
Sure.
Any questions, any updates before we go to breakout rooms? Any announcements?
So we also have a new grant or partnership with a stablecoin project called OIN. They will launch on us as a natively launched collateral-based stablecoin project. And that's one of the key missing DeFi Lego that's in our ecosystem right now. And it also is a new collaboration form with them. So in our 300 million grant program, there is no liquidity support category, right? Actually, a lot of project like doesn't require like just a grant. They require the liquidity to bootstrap their project when they launch on Harmony. Like new project really require liquidity to like get enough like traction, make their project like usable with enough liquidity, and that's what we are doing with OIN as like a testing as an experiment. So we're gonna put $1 million of token as the initial liquidity for 3 months on their launched stablecoin platform. to provide enough liquidity and make the initial kind of stable coin stable. So that's our collaboration with OIN. We're gonna discuss the next step for the launch date, but their project, their smart contract is already audited. We're also gonna provide an additional audit for them for free, just to show the support. But their smart contract is pretty ready. We're just gonna discuss the launch date next.
And we're going to do an audit as well, right, RJ?
Yeah, we're gonna provide additional audit, but they already finished one round of audit themselves with Certic.
We're just going to do it with Slow Mist as well.
Yeah,
and we'll publicize this and ask them to put up a post so that there's more details for the community to take a look at. This has been a really long conversation, and like RJ said, it's long due that we have a Harmony native stablecoin. So yeah, this is a one small step in the many steps we're taking.
Great. Thanks, RJ. Anything else? Adrian, any updates from you?
Yeah, so pushing out all the Lisbon and NFT NYC content this week. That should be coming out shortly. There is also been doing a bunch of merch testing, and it's not necessarily content, but merch testing for the upcoming events that we have for all of next year, and working with designers on that. Also trying to spruce up the booth, I guess, for the Miami. So I am involved in that as well. And what else am I doing? Yeah, so that's like the main stuff. I've also been meeting with a lot of partners that we've been talking to, both in LA and over Zoom, just people that we met in New York. And I'm just trying to sound on more people to give grants to. So
one thing I would flag that I realized I didn't mention, our booth in Miami, it's a 20 by 20 booth, so it's pretty big. And what we're using it for is to show off the ecosystem. So we have DeFi Kingdoms, we have Seek NFT, we have Madden Art, we have the Harmonies that are all coming in, and they'll all have kind of a part of the booth to show off what's happening there. So, you know, we settled on 4 because we have a pillar right in the middle of our booth. And so we have 4 sides to that pillar. But this is what I think I would love to see us do in the future with events and conferences, especially when there's a trade floor, is that rather than shilling us, because we don't need to shill Harmony anymore, we show the vibrancy of the ecosystem and keep showing off projects that I have built that are native to Harmony.
also wanted to add, what's it called? Stephen wanted me to try and hit a 24-hour turnaround for videos in the future. So I guess in the same way that you guys are trying to hit 1 second finality, we are trying to do that. And you know, with 1 person or 2 people, it's pretty difficult to do a lot of it, because it's not just filming and editing. You got to think of all the other aspects: the thumbnail generation, the copy for YouTube, the subtitles, all that stuff. So
rendering time.
So what I've been doing this past week has really just been a lot of assembling a team. I don't like to tell Stephen no. I like to tell Stephen that yes, we're going to do that. Let me figure it out. So while I do think that 24-hour turnaround is ambitious, so is 1 second finality. So we're going to try and get that to that level, or as close as we can to it. And I'm really trying to plug all the holes and try and make it so we have a system. I'm getting people from halfway across the world so that when I sleep, things are still happening. So there's a lot going in that regard, so that way everything is more like Twitter. It happens and you see it the next day. that's ultimately, I think, the goal that they want for some of these like event style stuff. And also we're talking in the background about all the narrative content that we're going to be doing for 2022. So we're going to do more pieces like that that are actually telling stories and stuff like that, in addition to the event content. Because the event content, you know, in my opinion, I think telling stories reaches much greater mass appeal. It's what I've done with when I was working with the Nike content. You know, event content is very good, but it's not defined as a clear goal in the very beginning about what you're shooting. It's not intentional. It's more capture it and release it. And so there's two different audiences for that. And I think I'd love to, you know, make sure that the event content comes out lightning fast. We're going to get that finality down. And also meanwhile, while still thinking about pushing culture with these bigger pieces that are more story driven. So anyway.
Very cool. Thanks for the update, Adrian. 24 hours. Good luck to you. That's going to be tough, but I know you can do it.
I definitely agree, but I think it's possible. Just, you know, just a lot of coffee.
All right, guys, I want to make sure there's enough time for the breakout rooms. If there are no other questions, enjoy your week. Have fun. Good luck to you all, and I'll speak to you all soon.